This is Dahi, a regular office worker, hoping to become a permanent employee at a big corporation. Her interview was going really well, until a bee suddenly decided to land on her head. Right after a single sting, she immediately met her future self. Future Dahi warned her past self, "I'm here to tell you this, you can't join that company." Thinking to herself, "This girl is so weird. It was so hard to get a good job like this." Past Dahi retorted quickly, "What do you know? I have to join. I definitely have to join. At this age, if I'm not working at a company, should I become an idol live streaming for donations or something?" While unconscious, the two Dahis were like two opposite personalities. One side wanted to be content with the thought of being just a regular employee. The other side wanted to break free, to have a more brilliant and happier life. The two then clashed and struggled with each other. After a while, Dahi woke up from her dream. Around her now were the bosses and department heads who had interviewed her. Everyone looked really worried about her swollen eye. Losing the job over a small accident, Dahi was resigned to it. She earnestly begged the bosses to let her continue the interview. "Please believe me, I can do the job well." After all the ups and downs she had just experienced, Dahi finally got the job she wanted, with joy mixed with her eye being all swollen. Dahi declared, "I will try my best to complete the job perfectly." And then, from that moment on, even more unbelievable things started to happen. Turns out, the bee sting was just the beginning, the opening act for her series of office tragedies. With a big important meeting about to kick off, people were rushing to get there on time. But there were Dahi and her Four Eyes leader still standing in line to buy pastries and coffee. You see, this leader bro watches so many reviews that no matter what, he had to try the most raved about pastry in Gangnam. He didn't mind pushing his way through the crowd to get his hands on it. The two of them were so into squeezing and shoving that Dahi dropped her phone while texting her boyfriend, shattering it to pieces. While she was fumbling around trying to find the pieces, her leader had already bought the stuff and even ran ahead, leaving Dahi to chase after him with an incredibly annoyed look on her face. After leaving the pastry shop like rockets, they sprinted all the way to the office. And to make matters worse, on the way back, her boss managed to spill a whole cup of coffee all over Dahi's shirt. Seriously, no one's life is as rough as hers. Not only did she drop her phone, but she also got a bright yellow coffee-stained shirt as a gift from him. As if that wasn't enough, when they got to the office, her boss didn't cut her any slack. Because the elevator was packed, Dahi was kicked out to take the stairs, forcing her to climb 14 floors, which made her incredibly bitter. But what can she do? Employee evaluations are coming up, so she has to suck it up to get a good review. Capitalism is so brutal. After the meeting ended, Dahi returned to the office to find her leader already eating the pastries he was given as a gift. She was super annoyed. She thought her leader was being thoughtful, seeing how hard she worked this morning, and was going to offer her a bite. But as the food was about to reach her mouth, her leader stopped her and swapped her for the piece he was already eating. Sharing food with your superiors will make life easier in the company, right? Her leader seemed to have a hard time swallowing it. Just as he was about to finish the last piece, the leader suddenly needed to go to the bathroom. Before running off clutching his stomach, the leader reminded Dahi, "Share the food with the rest of the team." Luckily, it was just in time, or else the whole box of pastries would have been devoured by him alone. Just as Dahi was getting ready to take the pastries, the boss suddenly showed up and wanted to see her performance report. At this moment, the pastries were handed back to Dahi. Then, with a grumpy face and the pastries, Dahi headed to CEO Jiu's office. As soon as she stepped into the room, Dahi was overwhelmed by how luxurious and tidy it was, and there was even a high-end massage chair, which cost as much as 3 months of her salary. Without hesitating, Dahi put the pastries down and jumped in to try it out. While she was enjoying the relaxing feeling of the wealthy, the power cord got unplugged, and right at that moment, CEO Jiu came back. Stuck on the chair and unable to escape, Dahi panicked. She had to cover up her embarrassment by pretending to be asleep, acting like she didn't know anything. Luckily, the CEO plugged the power back in and rescued her. Jumping up from the massage chair, Dahi held up the pastries and said, "Ta-da, surprised?" "I bet you're super surprised, right?" Jiu remained cool and handsome. "Please leave my office." What a cold person. So Dahi had to leave the CEO's office carrying a load of embarrassment. After the encounter with the handsome guy, it was time for the company to announce the employee evaluation results. Everyone had their rankings, from high to low. Dahi went to check hers, and the result came back as M, second to last. Not only Dahi but also Ji-song over here was on the phone with her boyfriend, and got caught by the boss sharing the same fate. And finally there was the team's big sister, Eun-song. While the two bosses were whispering to each other, they worried that Eun-song would get fired after the evaluation results, and then the team would be short-staffed. But she didn't seem to care at all, still happily and cheerfully working, which made both bosses stare in disbelief. Who knew that she was a stock market master? She was only working for fun. After the results were announced, these three lives, completely different from each other, coincidentally collided. The common ground among the three was that they weren't publicly recruited employees. You could say they were a mixed bag or just ordinary folks. Thanks to that commonality, the three became closer, always sticking together. On a very ordinary workday for the three girls, it also happened to be Dahi's birthday. Dahi should have been happy and excited, but just by looking at her, you could tell she was troubled by something. As everyone was leaving, Dahi walked away with unease in her heart, which Eun-sang and Ji-song happened to see. The two decided to follow Dahi to see what problem she was facing. At this moment, Dahi was distractedly at the bus stop, calling her boyfriend on the phone but getting no response. Sensing something was wrong with her sweetheart, she ran straight to the police station with an uneasy heart. Dahi said while crying, "My boyfriend is missing. Please help me find him." During the process of giving her statement, she recounted what happened yesterday. The two of them were being affectionate when her boyfriend suddenly had a craving for wine, but unfortunately, they didn't have a corkscrew. He suggested that he would go out to buy one, and since then, he hasn't returned. Dahi felt very worried and had run around everywhere to look for him, searching from nearby grocery stores to his apartment and the place where he usually smokes, but it was all in vain. She couldn't find him anywhere. She even told the police officer, "Or maybe he was sucked into a black hole, but I've been waiting and haven't seen any information from the land department. I even thought about contacting the defense ministry. I just feel like this was caused by aliens." The police officer taking the statement was very confused after hearing Dahi's story and reasoning, as if it were something only seen in movies. Then, the officer reassured her and asked if there might be a different angle to the story, whether her boyfriend had shown any unusual behavior around the time of his disappearance. At this point, Dahi's face went blank. She sat there dumbfounded for a moment before recounting that last night. When the two were about to have a hot and steamy night, he suddenly paused when he saw her lease was about to expire. Dahi suggested that they should gradually consider getting married anyway, and if they tried living together, they could save on living expenses. It wouldn't be a big deal, just think of it simply. Before she could finish speaking, her boyfriend changed the subject, which led to the story of him going to buy a corkscrew and not returning, and then cutting off contact with Dahi. Being fellow sisters, the female police officer knew right away, what a jerk. Hearing the officer's words, Dahi felt comforted. She stood up and left, not wanting to waste everyone's time with her foolish love story anymore. At this point, everyone at the police station held her back and cheered her on, "Hang in there!" Before she left, knowing it was Dahi's birthday, her office sisterhood didn't want her to feel sad. Meanwhile, Eun-sang and Ji-song had prepared a small birthday party for her. Suddenly returning from the police station, Dahi looked like she'd lost her soul, going home and just lying on the bed with a gloomy mood. While she was opening a bottle of wine she'd saved from yesterday, intending to have a few glasses to drown her sorrows, suddenly there was a knock at the door. And who else is coming in here? Surprise! Her boyfriend appeared. "I'm sorry, Dahi, I really have no shame left. You and I are both from poor families, and if we get married, things will be even harder than living alone. Would you be happy like that?" Hearing the harsh words from the man she once loved, Dahi felt incredibly upset. The two argued back and forth to the point that she couldn't take it anymore, smashing the wine bottle in her hand. "I'm not crying because of you, I'm crying because of myself, because I'm a failure for falling in love with someone like you." After saying that, she turned and left, unaware that her sisterhood had witnessed and heard everything. Even though this was a small party that her two sisters had prepared for her, Dahi couldn't feel happy no matter what. Dahi left with a sad and lifeless expression, and of course her two sisters followed behind her. It's only during the most disappointing moments like this that you realize who is by your side. The two sat next to Dahi, comforting her after the sad experience she went through. Seeing her two younger sisters hugging each other and crying, the eldest sister spoke up. "What's there to cry about? Don't cry over a worthless jerk. Think about something more useful, like investing in cryptocurrency. You have to say, for this big sister, no matter what, cryptocurrency is still the true love of life." Taking the opportunity, the youngest sister, Ji-song, also spilled the beans, revealing that she happened to stay behind and overheard how Dahi's jerk boyfriend had cheated on her. "I love you. I have something that's giving me a headache after work. Let's meet up now." Just hearing the story, the big sister, Eun-sang, started cursing nonstop. "Worthless bastard. We have to catch that bastard and throw him in the river." Just hearing it was scary. I don't know what she would do if she witnessed it firsthand. Since we're already making a mess, let's go all out. As soon as she finished speaking, the three sisters started planning their course of action. At this moment, he was strolling down the street with a beautiful girl in a car he had just rented to show off. While stopped at a red light, he was about to kiss the girl when the three comedians appeared in front of the car, turning on a radio and starting to hip-hop dance. 24 hours is too late to apologize. Dahi even took the opportunity to give him a bucket of water full of mothballs as a souvenir, to the cheers and applause of passers-by. Unexpectedly, Dahi's actions at that moment were accidentally witnessed by CEO Ji-yu driving in the car behind them. He was so impressed that he even told his friend about it when he got home. With that kind of strength, she must be a female general. The three sisters successfully took revenge, scaring the boyfriend so much that he'll probably be traumatized for 3 generations. After that, the three of them happily and comfortably went home. At this point, Dahi's birthday party finally began. The three sisters sat down, blew out the candles, and then everyone went home. But it seemed like they couldn't be happy for long before they had to be sad again. The road home for the three of them was icy and slippery. The two younger sisters volunteered to go first, falling and rolling around. Dahi started to blame life again. Why is nothing ever smooth? From beginning to end, everything I do is always messed up. You still have us sisters, Eun-sang interrupted her negative younger sister, and then prepared everything to rush towards the girls. Seeing their big sister stumble and rush towards them, even flying through the air, the two younger sisters were so shocked that they almost fell backward. But from somewhere, Eun-sang's hands reached out and caught Dahi and Ji-sung. Girls, let's play with cryptocurrency. After the three sisters made it through the slippery road, they missed their last train. It was 20 degrees Celsius outside, and the three sisters didn't know what else to do but sit temporarily at a convenience store. While they were talking about saving and spending money, the eldest sister, Eun-sang, stood up in her usual tone. I'm starting to introduce the $1 million dream again. From now on, as long as you have a cryptocurrency wallet, you can trade no matter where you go. And you guys don't want to invest? You want to be left out of the economic market? You have to admit, this big sister is really persistent. She's been asking her younger sisters to invest, counting from episode 1 until now, about 3 or 4 times already. Dahi and Ji-sung finally gave in. How does that cryptocurrency of yours work? Eun-sang was overjoyed when she heard that and started. From that moment, the wonderful life of the three sisters officially began. Starting with Dahi, after that night of causing chaos in the city, her life seemed to shed a burden, becoming a cheerful single person. Her work also became more prosperous. In the meeting for the new product, she was nominated by her leader to be in charge of the program plan for Children's Day. Of course, whoever does well will get promoted. Dahi seemed unable to believe what she had heard. Does my life really have this opportunity? Are you kidding me? She looked very stunned at this point because she couldn't believe it. My time to be valued has come. This day has finally come. Great, let's do it. I'm going first. Next was the youngest sister, Ji-sung. As always, she was still assigned trivial tasks, constantly hearing, Ji-sung. No matter what, she was still an optimistic and positive person because what she cared about was that the photo she took of her new shoes on Instagram had been praised by many people. Before she could even be happy, she was reminded by a colleague who looked very high class. Don't you feel uneasy doing trivial things all the time? Even I, a regular employee, worry about many things. You, Ji-sung, must be even more so, right? I don't care. Maybe that's why I'm not aging, because I don't have to worry about anything. Maybe worrying a lot will increase wrinkles like her, just thinking about it is scary. The colleague's face froze on the spot. If there was a hole here, that sister would have to dig 10 of them to crawl down to avoid the embarrassment of being called old by this sarcastic generation. Finally, there was the eldest sister, Eun-sang. As always, a rich person going to work out of passion. So she could do anything, even unclog drains, incredibly versatile. The younger, delicate sisters saw her fighting with the toilet with their eyes wide and mouths open, one screaming in fear, the other worrying if she could do it. After a few minutes of struggling and fighting with the toilet, now everyone can relax. Eun-sang turned and left. The younger sisters looked at her like an idol. Outside, the two loving younger sisters were already waiting for her to go eat. I just made a crypto trade yesterday, so let me treat you guys today. After eating and drinking to their heart's content, the big sister, Eun-sang, started teaching her younger sisters how to become master smart investors. She began to analyze, I made money, that's why I can treat you guys to such good food, right? Have you guys heard of the J-curve? At first it looks like a free fall, but eventually it bounces back into an upward curve. That's a kind of rule that you won't understand if you don't play. Eun-sang even provided evidence, showing how much profit she had made, to convince them. But the younger sisters still didn't care. Turns out the younger sister Dahi was also secretly playing. Returning to the office after the meal, she also took out her phone to look at it, hoping that one day a lump of money would fall on her head. While focusing on working on the upcoming project, Dahi overheard colleagues talking to each other. Dr. Ham will be judging the upcoming presentation. Who is Dr. Ham? That's our director. When the new product was launched and everyone was struggling to find a solution to make it sell, this guy came up with one, which was a line of conscience combined with a resounding sponsorship deal, which lifted the entire company. From Dahi's perspective, she found Ham to be quite cold, feeling like she couldn't get close to him. At this moment, the younger sister, Ji-sung, was still leisurely working, wearing a pink outfit from head to toe, when the colleague who was criticized by Ji-sung for being old this morning started to nag. Assistant Oh just forgot the documents. Quickly chase after him with your pink shoes. This time, Ji-sung was really put through the ringer. She chased after him from the company all the way out into the street. While running, the high heels she just bought broke, causing her to fall badly. Holding the designer shoes in her hands, tears streamed down her face. But she still tried to chase after Assistant O to complete her assigned task. When she arrived, a phone call came. I just called Assistant Oh, he stuffed the documents in his bag. Go back to the company. That colleague really knows how to torture Ji-sung. Ji-sung looked so pitiful at this moment. Her feet hurt and she lost her favorite shoes that she had just bought not long ago. After work, the sisters had to personally come to pick her up. Stepping off the bus, Ji-sung cried, My toes have no strength left. Can you call me a taxi? I can't walk anymore somehow. These two big sisters pushed their younger sister in a shopping cart all the way until late at night when they finally got home. Ji-sung thought her two sisters were so cute that she saved the memory. We have to make her play cryptocurrency to the end. I can't play alone. This big sister Eun-sang really can't help but bring up cryptocurrency no matter where she goes or what she does. Even when Da-hee let the shopping cart with Ji-sung drift away, the big sister still managed to pull it back. I can't watch you guys give up and live your whole lives like this, and then end up like this. What else will we have to tell in our lives? I can't ignore something that I know so well. I won't abandon you guys. After saying that, Eun-sang pulled her younger sisters up the hill by herself, looking incredibly strong. Just after pulling her younger sisters home last night, Eun-sang had a very important client meeting the next morning. This time, the big sister's partners were some picky customers. But how could that be difficult for her? Because she goes to work with a relaxed and unconstrained attitude. Eun-sang showed off to the picky guys with dishes made from the company's sweets, causing the guys to be stunned, inevitably surprised by the delicious and eye-catching taste, no different from a 3 Michelin star restaurant. Immediately after the meeting ended, the picky customers really liked Eun-sang and even promised to come back next year to see her. But honey, I'm doing well playing cryptocurrency. My plan is to fly to the moon. I'm not interested in staying at this company that night. Da-hee was also busy staying at the company practicing her presentation for tomorrow. While having an internal monologue, her colleague Dae-hee came back to the company to get something she forgot and caught Da-hee's enthusiasm, making her feel very admired. And of course, as always, Dae-hee gave Da-hee a cup of coffee. Seeing her colleague's confident demeanor, Da-hee felt quite envious. It was enviable to be able to confidently try again after a failure. After practicing tiredly, Da-hee returned home. On the way back, she saw a mother and daughter happily chatting with each other, and Da-hee started to miss her mother. Recalling the argument she had with her mother a few days ago, Da-hee felt extremely guilty. She picked up the phone and called to ask about her mother, but the call didn't last long before her mother had to go back to work. It can be seen that Da-hee and her mother are in an extremely difficult situation. Da-hee is struggling with a job that is not recognized, and her mother is old but still has to work so as not to become a burden on her daughter, and she also has to fight with her back pain. Da-hee's phone call with her mother inadvertently disturbed a drunk man lying by the road, who looked quite annoyed at being woken up by the noise. He decided to follow Da-hee all the way home to inquire about her parents. Meanwhile, Da-hee was unaware, still focusing on her work, leisurely taking care of her personal hygiene while rehearsing her presentation. Hearing him banging on the door and swearing outside, Da-hee panicked and ran out to hold the door, forgetting to turn off the faucet and also dropping her laptop. What had to come? Finally came. Water spilled and got all over Da-hee's laptop, erasing all the data from her presentation for tomorrow. Luckily, she quickly called the police for help and was finally safe. The drunk man was arrested by the police, and the sisterhood was also present at that time. We must make that jerk go to jail. If you can't do it, I will personally deal with him. Da-hee was crying at this point, sitting and redoing her presentation, looking extremely pitiful. Then I choose to follow the J-curve. Even if it looks like it's falling endlessly, it will eventually rise up. At the end of this difficult road, I will definitely have a happy ending. So all night, Eun-sang and Ji-sung stayed up with Da-hee, encouraging her to complete her presentation again. The presentation the next morning took place. When CEO Ji-yu saw Da-hee, he exclaimed, "Oh my god! It was the strong girl who threw water at her ex-boyfriend that day." And so the presentation took place, but it seemed that the result Da-hee received was not very happy. Her result still only stopped at the sentence, "I will work hard as expected of the CEO." He said one sentence that made the other person doubt themselves. And of course, there's no need to guess who was successful in the presentation. At the department celebration, Dae-hee confidently showed off her personality, singing, dancing, and celebrating her victory. Somewhere in the dark corner was Da-hee, torturing herself, blaming herself for not trying hard enough, or that she would always be a shadow of Da-hee. Da-hee, sing a song to make it fun. It's normal for people to have unlucky and lucky things at work. Could it be that just a few failures make those around her feel uncomfortable? Hearing these words from her leader, Da-hee bravely showed off her talent to entertain everyone. The sound of her singing inadvertently caught the attention of CEO Ji-yu in the corner. Truly, the eyes of a love-struck person were watching intently without moving. After the performance ended, Da-hee returned to her seat with the intern. This presentation was only for official employees. We're just paving the way. Besides you and me, everyone else knew beforehand. I'll quit when my internship ends. Hearing that, Da-hee's mood, which was already bad, became even worse. Until now, she was just paving the way. All her efforts were unseen and unrespected. When everyone had left, only Da-hee and her colleague Dae-hee remained. "I'm not holding back anymore. Why do you always buy Americano for me? You ask others clearly and buy according to each person's preferences. But why am I the only one you always give the buy 10 get 1 free cup to? You don't seem so mean that you would harbor malice." After saying everything, Da-hee turned to leave. Behind her, her colleague still said the same old words. "You did a great job, let's try harder next time. Good luck." After Dae-hee's words, Da-hee paused and thought about everything. The harsh things she had to go through, and the fact that she had to be Dae-hee's shadow today. Dahi was very upset and turned around, heading straight to her colleague to fight and vent her anger, but luckily Ji-yu appeared and stopped her. Dahi returned home feeling frustrated and went to see Eun-sung. Opening the door and smelling alcohol and her younger sister, Eun-sung was very weary. Then the two sisters began to talk about playing cryptocurrency. Dahi wondered why she wasn't seeing any profit from playing. Go out and try to see if a few pennies can change your life. So the two sisters led each other out to eat again. Seeing a bruise on her younger sister's forehead, "Did you get into trouble again?" Dahi then recounted that she was stopped by CEO Ham earlier. "Why do you know that song?" "That's my favorite song just because you like it. That song isn't just yours. Or are you criticizing my taste in music?" The two kept talking back and forth. Next time, try harder. Just when Dahi was allergic to the word try, she turned around in anger and bumped heads with the CEO, so the two hugged their swollen heads and went home. Thanks to investing in cryptocurrency, Dahi made a little bit of money. She secretly calculated in her heart, if she earns more one day, what she wants to do most is to change to a bigger house. In 2007, she moved out on her own for the first time to a shared room. Looking at the living room filled with sunlight, Dahi was full of eagerness for independent living. However, all good things were just illusions. The house faced north, with only 30 minutes of sunlight a day, and the rest of the time the house was always dark and suffocating. After living there for 5 years, Dahi moved again to a cramped room to prepare for exams. The room faintly smelled of vanilla, which she loved, so she signed the contract without hesitation. After moving in, she discovered the landlord's trick. The vanilla scent was actually deliberately placed by the landlord in the toilet to cover up the ammonia smell. To make matters worse, the toilet had no door. Since then, the toilet bowl has become an obsession and embarrassment in Dahi's heart. It wasn't until 2015 that Dahi moved to her current house. The conditions of this house are quite good, with only one drawback. There is no threshold, which often makes Dahi forget to take off her shoes and walk into the house. But because the overall house is okay, she continues to rent it. Recently, the landlord demanded a rent increase, so Dahi had to continue looking for a new house. Another beautiful day, Dahi continued her usual life of going to work and going home. When she saw Sister Kang, she suddenly remembered the memory of last night when she was drunk and went to her. As for the other details, she couldn't remember anything at all. At the company door, Dahi met her colleague Do-hai. She immediately apologized for accidentally saying something wrong yesterday after being drunk and also headbutting her. Seeing the other person blank, Dahi realized she had remembered the wrong person. Meanwhile, Adu, the person who was actually attacked by her, came to Dahi's room for a meeting early in the morning. He asked everyone for ideas for the new packaging of potato chips. Adu deliberately called Dahi's name, asking her to comment on the design he had chosen. "Isn't this not your style? You like the new design, right?" Dahi's fragmented memories suddenly flooded back. Last night, she was the one who headbutted Adu and shouted that she wanted to buy a new phone too, but unfortunately, she didn't have the money. To save 101, she had to give up her favorite ice cream coffee for an Americano. Feeling embarrassed, Dahi quickly apologized to Adu. He didn't mind being headbutted. On the contrary, he was more curious about the song that Dahi sang in front of everyone last night. Then, he suddenly asked Dahi if she had a boyfriend. Dahi's first reaction was to admit that she had a boyfriend. Carrying a stomach full of questions, Dahi went into lunch. Today, Ji-sung ate lunch with her colleagues, while she, as usual, went to find Sister Kang. As it happened, she saw Sister Kang selling all sorts of things in her convenience store. Sister Kang's goods were very complete, including stockings, hangover cures, razors, cough drops, and colleagues all came to support her. In addition to making money, Sister Kang also knew how to help Ji-sung get justice. Knowing that a female colleague was deliberately making things difficult for Ji-sung, she plastered seal stickers all over her belongings, embarrassing her in front of other colleagues. That colleague went to Sister Kang, angrily scolding her for making her lose face. Sister Kang flipped open her notebook, reading out each item that she had bought on credit. Instant noodles, soda, patches. The colleague was speechless, so angry that she could only stomp her feet in place. When the two went to eat, Dahi recounted her conversation with Adu, plus the fact that he had given her 2 club tickets and told her to bring her boyfriend along. But the problem is, where does she find a boyfriend now? Among the 3, Ji-sung is the most resourceful. She suggested Dahi go on a blind date. Just as she finished speaking, Ji-sung felt discomfort in her stomach. Lunch with her colleagues really wasn't that great. That lunch was a treat from a male colleague wearing glasses. During the meal, he was especially attentive to Ji-sung. Everyone could tell that he liked her. Ji-sung quickly explained that she already had a boyfriend, it's just that they were in a long-distance relationship. But the gossipy colleagues didn't care. They kept praising how well-matched the two were, and even said that Ji-sung would have a hard time finding someone with as good conditions as this guy with glasses, even if she carried a torch. The next day, taking advantage of her break, Dahi went to view houses in the nearby area. This house was spacious, bright, and even had the threshold she always cared about. Dahi was extremely satisfied. but the satisfaction was directly proportional to the price. The rent made her hesitate. She suddenly remembered that yesterday during lunch, Sister Kang had used the money earned from investing in cryptocurrency to pay off all her debts right in front of her. This couldn't help but make her a little envious. Dahi checked her cryptocurrency profits on her phone while getting on the bus, but was reminded several times by the driver that her bus card had run out of money. Dahi was asked to get off the bus, feeling extremely upset. Not only Dahi, but the situation of the other two sisters wasn't any better either. First was Sister Kang. She saw the weather forecast said it would rain today, and when she heard the data room had to work overtime, she immediately came up with a money-making plan. She immediately ordered a batch of umbrellas to sell to her colleagues working overtime. Who knew that an entire day would pass, and there was no sign that it would rain? Sister Kang started to get impatient, constantly calling the weather station to inquire. Before she could get any results, she heard someone else say that the data room had finished their work early and everyone had already gone home. Sister Kang was so angry that she collapsed to the ground. All the umbrellas were now unsold inventory. But Sister Kang is a very calculating person. Tonight, she has to go to a class reunion. But her purpose isn't to see old friends, but because those who attend will receive black garlic juice as a gift. The reunion attendance fee is 10.01, but a box of black garlic juice on the used market costs up to 48.01. She can profit from this difference. With a clear purpose, Sister Kang went to the hotel to register, received a box of black garlic juice, and left. Before leaving, she didn't forget to ask the staff if they needed to buy umbrellas, she could give them a discount. Seeing the staff's awkward expression, Sister Kang knew the hint and turned to leave. Just then, she ran into an old classmate. This classmate seemed to have guessed that Sister Kang came only to receive the gift, and sarcastically said that she always valued money so much, which is why that thing happened that year. The pain of the past was brought up again, and Sister Kang sadly returned home. Ji-song's side wasn't going smoothly either. She worked hard overtime, only hoping to finish her work quickly so she could catch her flight to visit her boyfriend in a long-distance relationship. The male colleague with glasses saw her in a hurry and voluntarily stayed behind to help. After finishing work, he even drove Ji-song to the airport. Unfortunately, despite trying her best, Ji-song still missed her flight. Already in a bad mood, Ji-song's suitcase was bumped into by someone else, spilling all her belongings onto the floor. She cried while gathering her belongings. Her boyfriend hadn't replied to her messages in a long time, and this state of no contact made her feel uneasy that he was cheating. Seeing the woman of his dreams crying, the guy with glasses mustered all his courage and confessed his feelings on the spot. He said that even if Ji-song's feet smelled, or she ordered expensive but unworthy items at the bar, or squeezed all the bread in the bakery without buying any, he could still endure it. The word endure sounded somewhat forced and resigned. Ji-song believes that, at least in love, one must find someone with whom both feel comfortable to go through life together. For Ji-song, being handsome is a basic requirement, and the guy with glasses completely failed to meet the standard. After a struggle, Ji-song returned home and finally got in touch with her boyfriend. She warned him that if he dared to cheat, she would drag him down with her to hell. In another development, Dahi went to dinner with the guy on a blind date. When asked about her hobbies, Dahi was embarrassed and didn't dare to say that her hobbies were lying down, eating, and sleeping. Seeing that the other person liked sports, she relied on that to start a conversation. After dinner, the two went to a club. Coincidentally, it was just when the host was introducing Adu, calling him an ill-fated singer who debuted and retired at the same time immediately afterward. Adu appeared and sang his song, which was the song that Dahi had sung before. Under the stage, Dahi listened intently. Only at this point did she realize that this was Adu's song. After singing, Adu sat at the drums to perform. Who knew that in a moment of carelessness, he accidentally sent a drumstick flying straight into the head of the guy on the blind date. He fainted on the spot and was taken to the hospital. After being examined and confirmed that there was nothing serious, the guy vented all his anger on Dahi and stormed off. Adu followed and witnessed the scene, then sarcastically mocked Dahi's taste, not expecting that she would like such a man with no qualities. Dahi was provoked and chased after him to explain. Because she didn't have money, the range of things she could like was also limited. Therefore, when she liked something, it was definitely a sincere liking. She liked the new phone, liked ice cream coffee, and Adu's song was also really good. After speaking, Dahi returned home and decided to go big. She withdrew all her fixed savings to invest in cryptocurrency, and decided to change her second life, which was to rent the beautiful house she had always dreamed of. That day, Dahi's mother came to her newly rented house. After looking around, she smiled with satisfaction. Dahi offered for her mother to stay for dinner, but as soon as she entered the kitchen, she heard the sound of hammering. She panicked and quickly snatched the hammer from her mother's hand. "This is a rental house. You can't just nail things wherever you want." Seeing her mother's embarrassment, Dahi felt a pang of guilt and hurriedly went to cook dinner. During the meal, her mother asked Dahi to help her register for a YouTube account. Dahi opened her mother's phone and discovered that the album was full of photos of scenery on TV. She explained that it was very beautiful, and if you didn't look closely, you might think you had actually been there. Dahi advised her mother to go out for a walk and breathe in the fresh air whenever she had time. But her mother thought that was for people who had both money and time, and she didn't have such good luck. After seeing her mother off, Dahi felt very upset. Passing by a karaoke place, she decided to go in and sing to relax. Unexpectedly, she ran into Adu. It turned out that Adu wanted to return to singing and had sought out his close friend Duman, hoping that his friend could help, but Duman mocked that anyone who liked Adu's song must be trying to trick him into buying a gemstone mattress. He advised Adu to only treat music as a pure hobby. After leaving Duman's place, Adu received a call from his mother, urging him to go on a blind date. Adu argued with his mother for a few words, but before he could finish speaking, his mother hung up. Adu really wanted to tell his mother that he wanted to pursue music, but he didn't have the courage to say it. In a depressed mood, he walked into the karaoke place and heard someone in the next room singing his song. Adu decided to see who liked his song, and then he saw Dahi. Both of them were in bad moods, so they drank a lot of alcohol. Dahi recounted that when she was young, because her family went bankrupt, she and her parents participated in a program called Echoes of Love. After her family's story was broadcast, Adu went on stage to sing. But because he was too nervous, he performed poorly, and even the host couldn't help but laugh. But Dahi felt very happy. At that time, she was 18 years old, and declaring her family bankrupt on television made her feel very embarrassed. Even though the program blurred her face, she was still afraid of being recognized. But after watching Adu's performance, she felt more relieved. According to her, Adu was like her, so there was nothing to be embarrassed about. She also expressed that no matter how difficult it was later, she would get through it smoothly because this song was her motivation, her inspiration for life. Hearing this, Adu was extremely touched. It had been a long time since anyone had praised him like that. The two looked at each other passionately, and then Adu placed a kiss on her lips. Dahi looked at the blue veins on Adu's arm, feeling so attractive and not refusing at all. Afterward, the two went to a motel and completely gave themselves to each other. When their emotions surged, Dahi even rode on Adu's arm. But at dawn, a fire broke out in the motel. Adu was injured while saving Dahi. While he went to treat his injuries, Dahi accepted an interview with the media. But even though the media blurred her face, acquaintances still recognized it was Dahi. Team leader Go sarcastically mocked her, thinking that Dahi had problems with her behavior. At lunchtime, Sister Kang and Ji Song kept asking Dahi who the man was, but she refused to say. Just then, Adu called, and Dahi hung up immediately. Ji Song saw that the name Dahi saved in her contacts was a big mistake, and became even more curious. Dahi thought that she would no longer have any entanglement with Adu, but her interview video was posted online. All sorts of criticisms came crashing down. Even worse, her mother also found out and even got into a heated argument with others online. Dahi hurriedly ran to the rooftop to call and explain to her mother. Because she was in too much of a hurry, her attitude and tone weren't very good. After hanging up, Dahi prepared to go downstairs when she ran into Adu. Adu asked why Dahi didn't answer the phone, and she pretended to be innocent. In fact, because she was drunk and fast asleep, she had no idea that Adu was injured because he saved her. The scene shifted to Sister Kang. She complained to the program that the blurring for ordinary people was too shoddy, both violating the right to publicity and repeatedly causing serious leaks of personal information. Thanks to Sister Kang's complaint, the production team quickly deleted the interview video related to Dahi and also dealt with the videos online. That day, after work, Dahi received a message from Adu, inviting her to his house to meet. Dahi also wanted to take this opportunity to make everything clear. She followed the address to Adu's residence. Upon entering the lobby on the first floor, she needed to fill out a visitor registration form. Then, a building management staff member accompanied her to the 20th floor. After obtaining an access card, she could then go to the 37th floor where Adu lived. Dahi felt that visiting Adu's house was more troublesome than going through immigration procedures. But when she saw the luxurious mansion that Adu was living in, she suddenly understood why. Seeing Dahi, Adu immediately explained that he was injured because he saved her. But when he was treating his injuries, she went to give an interview on her own. When he returned, she was nowhere to be found. Adu questioned Dahi, asking if she was avoiding him. Dahi glanced at the toolbox on the cabinet and the nail on the wall, asking Adu what he was nailing. Adu replied that because the picture frame fell, he nailed it back up a bit. Thinking about how she didn't even dare to nail a single nail in her rental house, while Adu could nail nails in his house at will, Dahi felt the distance between the two. What would people say if someone like me, with no money, no background, and nothing, slept with the director of the company? It's already lucky if I'm not called a vixen. Dahi said that even if she had feelings for Adu, in the eyes of others it might be greed. She hoped that Adu would forget about that night, just treat it as an accident. Hearing this, Adu couldn't bear it and threatened her, saying that if she didn't take responsibility, she would be dead for sure if she met his mother on the street. Dahi also got scared and finally agreed to date Adu. On the way back, Dahi withdrew 10 million won in overdrafts and used all that money to buy cryptocurrency. After meeting Sister Kang and Ji Song, Dahi told them about her and Adu. The two were extremely surprised after hearing it. Dahi declared that she must earn a lot of money so that she could nail as many nails as she wanted on the wall and also wanted to take her mother on a trip. The company is about to hold its 30th anniversary celebration. Da-hee went to the factory to confirm the flavor of the snacks when an accident unfortunately occurred. Ironically, at this moment, Adu sent a message asking Da-hee to go out to eat. The soup splashed on the phone, causing it to automatically reply with random characters. This made Adu very annoyed. He had asked Da-hee out several times, but each time he was rejected, and he couldn't help but question whether she was avoiding him. Da-hee wanted to explain that she was really busy, but since her phone was broken, she couldn't. The workers in the factory found Da-hee a set of protective clothing. She changed and returned to the company in a messy, disheveled state and discovered that her colleagues were all very idle. Team leader Go said that tomorrow Da-hee would be on stage to receive the award for employee with excellent work attitude, so it was only natural that she was working a little harder. Da-hee felt unreasonable again because Dun Seo also received that award. Unexpectedly, team leader Go didn't care and changed the subject, asking where Du-hai went. The answer was that Du-hai had gone to shoot a promotional video for the company with Adu. Hearing this, Da-hee felt uncomfortable, so she immediately went to the film set to watch. Unexpectedly, she was chased away by the director. To avoid being discovered by Adu, Da-hee covered her face and hunched over as she left. She felt very wronged. Du-hai and Da-hee only differ by the last word. Yet one is a princess, and the other is called an aunt. Ji-sung encouraged Da-hee to be brave and said that she was willing to lend Da-hee her evening gown so that she could appear magnificent at the ceremony. Da-hee wasn't interested at first, but as soon as she turned away, she heard everyone in the team discussing the seating arrangements for the ceremony. In the past, Da-hee would never interfere with things like this. But today was different. She offered to compete fairly with everyone in the team. As a result, thanks to playing rock, paper, scissors, Da-hee won. She immediately called Ji-sung, saying that she wanted to buy that evening gown. That night, Sister Kang and Ji-sung came to Da-hee's house. The two took out makeup, curling irons, and started doing Da-hee's makeup and hair. Then she put on the evening gown. Da-hee looked at herself in the mirror and felt extremely gorgeous. Ji-sung instructed Da-hee to do her makeup and dress like this tomorrow. But how could Da-hee manage it alone? So, Sister Kang and Ji-sung had to stay over. The cryptocurrency price is up again. Sister Kang excitedly held up her phone for Da-hee to see. The two were extremely excited. Ji-sung reminded them not to talk about cryptocurrency anymore because she didn't like that topic. At this moment, Ji-sung was busy with something else. During the day at work, team leader Go added Ji-sung to the team's chat group. This made Ji-sung feel included, so she always kept an eye on the messages in the group. One colleague said that it had been a long time since they had gone out to eat together. Ji-sung immediately spoke up, saying that she knew all the famous restaurants like the back of her hand and started showing off. Ji-sung said that she often went to a restaurant that required reservations 6 months in advance. Hearing this, a colleague asked her to make a reservation for the whole group for tomorrow night. Ji-sung was stunned after hearing this. Meanwhile, Adu called Da-hee, accusing her of deliberately making him anxious and demanding a meeting to talk. Da-hee said that she was with her friends right now, so it wasn't convenient. She promised that tomorrow at the ceremony, she would definitely sit next to Adu. Hearing this, Adu's anger immediately disappeared. The next day, he specially bought a bouquet of flowers and placed it in Da-hee's seat. Da-hee was also full of excitement. After finishing her makeup, she arrived at the hall early. But what she didn't expect was that her seat had been changed. The chairman would be attending the ceremony and requested to be seated next to Adu. Da-hee, of course, didn't dare to oppose the chairman and had to find a random seat to sit down. She thought that even if she couldn't sit next to Adu would definitely see her when she went on stage to receive the award later. As a result, due to time constraints, the entire team's award was received by Du-hai alone. Da-hee watched Du-hai standing confidently on stage, feeling extremely frustrated. Seeing the glass of wine next to her, she planned to drink a little to relieve her pent-up emotions. Her nose quickly started bleeding. Da-hee turned her head and saw Adu walking towards her, so she immediately crawled under the table. Adu didn't think twice and crawled in after her. He thought Da-hee was hiding from him. Seeing Da-hee having a nosebleed, he laughed and said it served her right. "See, it's all because you treat me badly that you're getting your comeuppance." Adu took out a handkerchief and gently wiped the blood from Da-hee's nose. Da-hee looked at Adu, her heart pounding wildly. Just then, they heard their colleagues in the team discussing Da-hee. They said that she looked a bit like the white seaweed lining under the flounder when she wore the white evening gown standing next to Du-hai. Hearing this, Adu was about to go out and reason with them when Da-hee stopped him. But the colleagues still felt the table was moving and were about to lift the tablecloth to see what was going on. Da-hee signaled to Adu to lift the table. The two of them hid under the table, staggered, bumped, and escaped from the hall. Da-hee was wearing high heels and unfortunately slipped and fell. Adu didn't notice at all and continued to carry the table forward. Just then, team leader Go stepped forward and questioned Da-hee why she didn't answer the phone. Over 100 boxes of snacks at the factory had been delivered to the wrong address. But Da-hee didn't receive any calls, and besides, the person in charge of contacting the shipping company was Du-hai. Hearing this, team leader Go thought that Du-hai was the one receiving the award and was currently having an in-depth conversation with the chairman, So naturally, Dahi had to step in and take care of this. Dahi just had to take the blame and kept apologizing to team leader Go. Adu overheard their conversation without missing a word. He asked Dahi if she was okay. Dahi pretended that nothing was wrong, saying that she just felt a little embarrassed. Adu said that he wasn't happy either. He said to Dahi, "Just wearing a beautiful evening gown can't make you the main character. You have to do something truly extraordinary. As long as you want to, you can do anything. In my eyes, you are the type of person who can turn any place you go into your own stage." Hearing this, Dahi suddenly realized that an evening gown couldn't prove herself at all. She asked for the location of the restaurant and asked Adu for help. Soon after, Adu called Du Man to come. The two stepped onto the stage of the hall together. At this time, the children were crying loudly because there were no snacks. Adu started singing his song from the heart, and everyone was also happy. Along with the singing, the children also danced. When the song ended, the lights came on, and Dahi walked in. If there are no tonkatsu-flavored cookies, then at least we have to treat everyone to real tonkatsu, right? Hearing this, the children cheered with joy. The chairman praised Dahi for being clever and talented. The colleagues in the team all breathed a sigh of relief. It was lucky that Dahi came up with this solution. Otherwise, the whole team would have been reprimanded for sure. Hearing this, the colleagues bowed their heads in embarrassment. Dahi looked at Adu, and they both smiled at each other. Turning to Ji-song's story, early in the morning, she dragged Sister Kang to Elo Kitchen to make a reservation, but the reservation calendar was full for a long time. Ji-song kept begging the owner. A group of guests canceled their reservation at 7 o'clock. Kim Ji-song, reservation for today at 7 o'clock. A total of 6 people. Ji-song also asked the owner to pretend to be close to her when they ate dinner tonight. But what she didn't expect was that none of her colleagues showed up, and they all left the chat group at the same time. To comfort Ji-song, Sister Kang went with her to a small restaurant and had a hearty meal. Sister Kang could understand Ji-song's feelings, but she felt that there was no point in living a fake life like that to please her colleagues. It was more realistic to earn money on her own. Unfortunately, Ji-song still hadn't understood this principle. The scene shifted to Dahi. After the ceremony ended, she and Adu went for a walk together. Adu talked about the ups and downs on his musical path. Just then, Sister Kang called. "The cryptocurrency price is up again." Hearing this, Dahi was extremely happy. Adu looked at her radiant and attractive, and couldn't help but kiss her. The next day, Adu asked Dahi out to eat. To hide it from everyone, Dahi invited Sister Kang and Ji-song along. Because they made money from cryptocurrency, Dahi and Sister Kang planned to invite Ji-song to travel together. The three comfortably discussed going to a club. Adu openly showed his jealousy. "You must have seen through my heart already, right? Now that it's come to this, you should let me know your feelings to be polite. I still don't understand your heart." Hearing this, Dahi said that for her, Adu was too outstanding, and it would be better if they were friends. Before she could finish her sentence, Adu got angry and demanded to go to the personnel department to ruin Dahi's performance review, citing her bad attitude and deceiving her superiors. Dating also carries the risk of unemployment. Dahi felt speechless. In fact, Adu just wanted Dahi to be his girlfriend, but this couldn't be forced too quickly. He said he would wait until Dahi returned from her trip to talk more. The destination of Dahi's trip this time was Namhae. Ji-song had made a detailed plan. After arriving, the first thing they did was go to a seaside restaurant to eat. Looking at the prices, Dahi and Sister Kang were a little stunned. But when you're on vacation, you have to have fun. Dahi generously waved her hand and planned to order the bluefin tuna. Sister Kang quickly stopped her. If they ordered this dish, they would probably have to starve for the remaining 2 days of the trip. Sister Kang believed that even if you earned money, you had to spend it rationally. In the end, the three ordered flounder. Halfway through the meal, the owner suddenly brought out a plate of natural abalone. Dahi was very curious. They didn't order abalone. The owner said that this was the restaurant's specialty and was especially gifted to them. The three didn't think much and happily ate it all. Even though they were on vacation, Dahi and Sister Kang still occasionally looked at their phones to monitor the cryptocurrency situation. Because of this, Ji-song was very angry, and she confiscated the phones of the other two. Afterward, the three had a fun day. In the evening, they wanted to go to a club, but after inquiring, they found out that all the clubs here were closed. With no other choice, the three had to return to the hotel to drink. One glass after another, they didn't know how much they had drunk. When they woke up, it was early the next morning. Dahi demanded that Ji-song return her phone. Ji-song said it was in her bag, but Dahi searched for a long time and couldn't find it. Realizing that they had lost their phones, all three quickly got up. They asked the hotel receptionist to call their numbers, but found that the phones had been turned off. Ji-song ran to the places they visited yesterday, but couldn't find anything. Because she didn't have her phone, Sister Kang felt very anxious. But Ji-song thought that they should continue to have fun. After all, if they found it, the hotel receptionist would hold it for them. However, not having a phone was really inconvenient. Seeing the cloudy weather, they couldn't even check the weather forecast. Ji-song suggested listening to the radio. The fluctuation of cryptocurrency has become very unusual. Tonight will probably be a sleepless night for investors. Hearing this news, Sister Kang couldn't calm down any longer and immediately turned the car around, demanding to go back to find the phones. Jisong thought that they could find the phones slowly, and they shouldn't ruin the trip. Sister Kang complained that Jisong shouldn't have confiscated their phones. In the middle of the argument, they almost crashed into the car in front of them. Dahai asked Jisong what was really going on with the phones. Jisong confessed that she had found the phones at the bar, but because she was afraid that Dahi and Sister Kang would be glued to them, she hid them. Dahi blamed Jisong, saying that if that was the case, she should just invest in cryptocurrency with them. Hearing this, Jisong bluntly said that the way Dahi and Sister Kang talked about money every chance they got was very unsightly. Sister Kang couldn't control her anger any longer. "The truly unsightly person is you." Sister Kang told Jisong that even though she and Dahi only had a small salary increase each year, they would one day be promoted to team leader. But Jisong was different. She was a permanent contract employee with no prospects and no future. Sister Kang pointed directly at Jisong, saying that she wasn't that she had no ambition, but that she was pretending not to care. Hearing these words, Jisong was extremely heartbroken. She grabbed her bag and phones and left. Dahi quickly chased after her. At this time, it started to rain. Jisong hailed a taxi and sped away. Dahi quickly hailed another car to chase after her, but in a flash, she could no longer see the shadow of the car in front. She reviewed the planned itinerary, thinking that Jisong had gone to the mountains, so she told the driver to head in that direction. In the meantime, Dahi kept calling Jisong, but no one answered. After arriving at the mountains, she finally got through. But the voice that answered was Sister Kang's. It turned out that Jisong had taken the wrong phone. Dahi wanted Sister Kang to come to the mountains, but Sister Kang sulkily said she wouldn't come and hung up. Dahi called Jisong again, telling her that if she didn't want this trip to turn terrible, she should quickly come to the mountains. Jisong replied that what was terrible now was her mood. Just like that, no one was willing to come. Dahi was so angry that she stomped her feet, then slipped and rolled down the hillside. Dahi felt that her leg was injured. Just then, Adu called, asking why Dahi wasn't replying to his messages and saying that there was a heavy rain warning for today. Dahi said that she was in the mountains. She only managed to say one sentence, "Help me," before the phone died. Dahi was alone and unbearably cold. Just as she felt that she was about to give up, Adu appeared. "Let me carry you." Dahi thought she was dreaming, otherwise how could someone who should be in Seoul appear here? What she didn't know was that Adu had always been following them. He was the one who called for the natural abalone for Dahi and her friends to eat. He was also the one who told them that the clubs were all closed. To avoid being recognized by Dahi, Adu had been wearing a hat and glasses the entire time. Turning back to Sister Kang, in the end she still couldn't abandon Dahi and Jisong and ran to the mountains. As a result, at the foot of the mountain, she saw Jisong almost slip and fall off a cliff. She quickly grabbed Jisong's hand. At the crucial moment, Dahi arrived in time and joined Sister Kang in pulling Jisong up. After a struggle, Sister Kang, being older, was exhausted and fainted. After waking up, Jisong hugged her tightly and sobbed. Jisong admitted that she was heavily in debt and felt that there was no hope in her life. Seeing this, Sister Kang was reminded of her deceased daughter. At that time, her daughter always wanted to go on a trip, but she and her husband were busy with work and really didn't have the time. Later, a kindergarten bus crashed into the railing, and her daughter unfortunately passed away. Sister Kang deeply regretted not spending good times with her daughter. Sister Kang told Jisong that her life was still very long, and that it was too early to talk about failure now. Hearing this, Jisong teared up. She decided to invest in cryptocurrency. Even though she didn't understand anything about cryptocurrency, she trusted Sister Kang. "I'll give you 5 cryptocurrency coins." "No, I'll give you 10 coins. If converted to money, it's about 8.7 million won. Dahi also said that she would give Jisong 5 coins. Jisong looked at her 2 best friends, moved to tears. The 3 vowed to make even more money. The trip ended, and it was time to go to work. Dahi didn't catch the elevator. Seeing this, Adu pulled her into the elevator reserved for senior management. Adu was still concerned about Dahi saying she wanted to be friends with him. Dahi explained, "I don't just want to be friends with you, but I want to start from friendship." Hearing this, Adu was overjoyed. Dahi glanced at her phone and discovered that a photo of them together had been posted on the company's internal network. Just then, the elevator doors opened, and Dahi was a little stunned. She quickly leaned her head against Adu, pretending to say, "My hair got caught on Dr. Ham's button." Adu didn't care about going public with the relationship, but seeing Dahi doing this, he had to cooperate. Even if the colleagues had doubts, they felt that with Adu's status and position, he couldn't possibly have taken a liking to Dahi. And so, the two of them temporarily fooled their colleagues. Turning back to Jisong. Under the influence of Sister Kang and Dahi, she not only invested in cryptocurrency but also worked part-time with them to earn money. That day, the company had a meeting. Team leader Go asked Dahi to present the slides on the event. As a result, because she was in a hurry, she made a mistake. This was originally just an accident, but it became a new excuse for everyone to criticize Dahi. Team leader Go took the lead in sarcastically saying that she was dishonest, not hardworking, and only thought about getting rich all day long. And that very evening, team leader Go came to eat at the Japanese restaurant where Dahi and her friends were working part-time. All three were afraid of being recognized, so they deliberately put on heavy makeup. What Dahi didn't expect was that even while eating, team leader Go didn't forget to badmouth her. They only need to obediently work hard, and they can live well. But those brainless idiots only think about getting rich overnight. They need to fall really hard. Team leader Go got more and more excited as he spoke, and as a result, he soon got his comeuppance. He choked on a piece of carrot. Seeing this, Dahi immediately ran over. Dahi quickly left after saving him. Because company rules prohibited employees from working part-time, she didn't want to cause any more trouble. As a result, when she got off work, the restaurant owner gave her an envelope, saying that it contained team leader Go's tip to thank her for saving his life. Dahi opened it and discovered that there were 500,000 won inside. Team leader Go had always been stingy, so she didn't expect him to be so generous. Sister Kang and Ji Song felt extremely surprised, but Dahi didn't want to accept the money at all. She decided to return it. Sister Kang said that if she brought it to the restaurant, it was very likely that team leader Go would find out about them working part-time. Dahi said that she had her own way. The next day at work, Dahi put the envelope containing the money in the file folder on team leader Go's desk. But team leader Go didn't even look at it and was about to throw the file folder away. She quickly took over the task. Then, during the meeting, Dahi saw team leader Go's jacket hanging on the chair. She wanted to take the opportunity to stuff the envelope into the jacket pocket, but as a result, she discovered that the pocket had been sewn shut. Dahi had no choice but to find another opportunity. After the meeting ended, team leader Go prepared to leave the company. Dahi followed behind, planning to stuff the envelope into team leader Go's pants pocket, but he was wearing workout pants that didn't have pockets. Team leader Go angrily scolded Dahi. "Why are you touching someone else's butt?" Dahi explained that she felt the outfit suited team leader Go very well, so she wanted to take a closer look and accidentally touched his butt. But team leader Go insisted that Dahi had deliberately touched him. He immediately reported it to the company, saying that she had sexually harassed him. The person in charge of the investigation asked Dahi if she liked team leader Go. Dahi just wanted to jump off a building after hearing that. This was truly an insult to her. At this time, team leader Go was complaining to the members of the team, telling everyone to monitor Dahi carefully in the future. Just then, Dahi walked in, offering to speak privately with team leader Go. "I didn't want to grope you. I wanted to return your tip." Only now did team leader Go realize that it was Dahi who had saved him that day. Not only that, but Dahi had also seen team leader Go selling company secrets. Hearing this, team leader Go argued that he only gave a few work suggestions to the other party, and he was definitely not as greedy as Dahi. Dahi said that she once respected team leader Go very much, always hoping to receive praise for her work. But team leader Go kept suppressing her, causing her to lose all confidence. "Please don't take away the last bit of passion I have left. Please don't take it away." Dahi was in a troubled mood. At this time, she especially wanted to see Adu, but she sent many messages, and he didn't reply. She knew that Adu had gone on a business trip, but it wasn't like he went to Mars that he couldn't even send a message. Just as she was complaining, Adu walked toward her. Dahi immediately ran into Adu's arms, venting all her pent-up grievances. Turning back to Ji Song, she had moved in with Sister Kang. Sister Kang gave the only bedroom to Ji Song while she slept in the living room. That day, Ji Song heard sobbing outside the door. She tiptoed to the living room and saw Sister Kang crying in her sleep. Ji Song knew that Sister Kang couldn't forget her deceased daughter. She secretly made up her mind that she must pay more attention to Sister Kang in the future. On Saturday night, Ji Song went to hand out flyers and met Section Chief O. Initially, Ji Song planned to avoid Section Chief O. She was wearing a mascot head, so he couldn't recognize her at all. But Section Chief O picked up a flyer that someone else had thrown away and gave it back to Ji Song. Ji Song politely said thank you. Section Chief O suspected that it was Ji Song, but he quickly denied it. "You probably hate me a lot, right? I understand. Our Ji Song hates me because I'm ugly." Ji Song suddenly felt that she was too much. Even if she didn't like Section Chief O, she shouldn't have attacked him like that. She immediately took off the mascot head, expressing her apology to Section Chief O. "I hurt you just because I said that my ideal type of boyfriend was a little different." Section Chief O said that he respected Ji Song's preferences and didn't want to pressure her. Ji Song was very curious as to why Section Chief O liked her so much. Section Chief O said that he couldn't help but like a good girl like Ji Song. Hearing this, Ji Song was very touched. She thought that Section Chief O was truly a very good person, always trying not to make her sad. Ji Song didn't know how to comfort Section Chief O. She looked up at the clock and suddenly remembered that Sister Kang had probably fallen asleep, so she hurriedly prepared to go home. Section Chief O offered to take Ji Song home, but she refused. Ji Song ran home while calling Dahi, telling her to quickly come to Sister Kang's house. Opening the door, Ji Song saw that Sister Kang wasn't asleep, and she breathed a sigh of relief. Just then, Dahi also ran in. Sister Kang looked at the two of them, feeling confused. Was it because Ji-song said I was sleeping or crying that you guys were worried? Ji-song said that so that Sister Kang would have someone by her side when she woke up. She had even adjusted her part-time work schedule. Hearing this, Sister Kang felt warm. She told Dahi and Ji-song not to worry. She was very strong. The next day, Dahi and Ji-song went with Sister Kang to sell an old doll. The other party had bargained many times and finally decided to buy it. As a result, when they met, they realized that the buyer was none other than Sister Kang's ex-husband. Sister Kang's ex-husband sarcastically called her a money-addicted monster, asking if she was selling their daughter's things. In the end, Sister Kang and her ex-husband parted on bad terms. But from then on, the two started arguing through text messages. Turning back to Dahi. That day, the police contacted her, saying that her father had returned. It turned out that Dahi's father was still alive. He had just run away to pursue his dream of getting rich. Dahi went to the police station. Her father was still the same as before. He said that he had found the last project in his life to bet on, which was cryptocurrency. Do you know the risks of mining coins are that big? What if I buy a bunch of miners and they issue a ban? Hearing this, her father realized that Dahi was also investing in cryptocurrency. Dahi didn't deny it. Her father looked worried, saying that Dahi was new to this, so she needed the guidance of an expert like him. Dahi didn't want to be involved with her father, angrily saying not to meet again in the future and turning to leave. Her mother's birthday was coming up. Dahi asked her mother if she wanted to meet anyone. She discovered that her mother had listed a bunch of names, but her father's wasn't among them. Therefore, she hid the fact that her father had returned. But what she didn't expect was that her father would appear at her mother's birthday party. Dahi hugged the cake, intending to stop her father, but slipped and fell. Her mother, on the other side, was too rushed and also stepped on her dress. As a result, the scene became like this. The happy birthday party had been ruined like that. Even more ironically, her father revealed that Dahi was investing in cryptocurrency. Her mother was extremely disappointed after hearing this. She felt that her daughter was just like her husband, both pursuing unrealistic dreams, so she was cold and ignored Dahi. That day, Dahi's father went all the way to her company, hoping that Dahi could give him some money to invest in cryptocurrency. Dahi knew that her father was actually looking for a way to ask for money. She was both angry and heartbroken. Other people's children can live an easy life, but my life has become extremely difficult because my father's investments have failed. She was forced to invest in cryptocurrency because she hoped that life would get a little better, not because she wanted to get rich quickly. Dahi angrily scolded her father. If you hadn't done those stupid things your whole life, dragging my whole life down into the mud, how would I have been interested in cryptocurrency? Dahi told her father that if he had any conscience, he should leave quickly. After speaking, she prepared to return to the company when she heard a thud behind her. Dahi turned her head and saw her father had collapsed on the ground. Just then, Adu ran over. Soon after, her father was taken to the hospital. The doctor diagnosed him with cancer, and he would need radiation therapy after surgery. Adu asked Dahi if she was very scared. Dahi sadly said that all kinds of difficult things always happened in her life, but she always pretended to be strong. Thinking about it, it was ridiculous. Adu comforted her, saying that he would be by Dahi's side. But Dahi once again felt self-conscious, and her feelings began to waver. What Dahi didn't expect was that after learning that her father was sick, her mother decided to withdraw all her savings to treat him. Dahi couldn't understand her mother's decision. But her mother said, "Dahi, you're a very emotional child. You shouldn't abandon family." Then she knelt down in front of Dahi. "If I just let your father die, it will become a burden that follows you for the rest of your life." Her mother didn't want Dahi to suffer any more pain, to live in misery her whole life. The scene shifted to Sister Kang. Her ex-husband sent a message saying that his mother had senile dementia and was always making a fuss, demanding to see Sister Kang. Initially, Sister Kang didn't pay attention, but her ex-husband kept sending pleading messages, and she finally softened. That day, Sister Kang specially went to the nursing home to visit her ex-mother-in-law. Her memory was still stuck in the past. She hoped that Sister Kang and her husband would love each other, and she still remembered her granddaughter. To put her mind at ease, Sister Kang and her ex-husband had to pretend that their feelings were still good. When mentioning her daughter, her ex-husband was a little embarrassed. Sister Kang then lied that her daughter had gone camping with her kindergarten. As she spoke, she took out her phone to show her ex-mother-in-law some old videos. After watching the videos, she pressed some loose change into Sister Kang's hand, telling her to buy delicious food for her granddaughter. Sister Kang took the money. Her eyes filled with tears. Even though she was sick, her mother-in-law was always worried about her beloved granddaughter. Her ex-husband was very grateful that Sister Kang had come to the nursing home. Sister Kang said that because of his companionship, those difficult days didn't seem so lonely anymore. "Thank you for continuing to live with me with this sense of guilt." Hearing this, her ex-husband also teared up. The departure of their daughter was their eternal pain, but it was because of that bond that they had the courage to continue moving forward. Turning back to Ji-song. Her boyfriend was about to come to Korea with his parents. She couldn't stop smiling. But will his parents mention marriage when they come here? Section Chief O, standing nearby, immediately became tense. If Ji-song got married, that meant he would never have a chance. he found an opportunity to ask Ji-song if she was really considering marriage. Ji-song told Section Chief Oh that this was part of her life plan. After deciding to work hard to earn money to live a better life, she felt that marriage should also be put on the agenda. Make a lot of money with a handsome guy, and live a happy and joyful life. It sounds great just thinking about it. Section Chief Oh reminded Ji-song, "You can't eat handsome." But Ji-song was a typical member of the handsome guy-obsessed group. How could she listen to these words? After thinking carefully, Dahi decided to respect her mother's wishes and treat her father's illness. But when she went to the hospital, she couldn't find her mother anywhere. After searching everywhere, Dahi began to worry, especially when she saw the advertisements for loan sharks near the hospital. She panicked even more. Back in college, to get money to pay for her tuition, her mother had once intended to sell a kidney. Dahi worried that her mother had taken out a loan. She ran to the bus station and breathed a sigh of relief when she saw her mother sitting on a bus. Dahi told her mother that she would pay for her father's treatment. In fact, that money was what she had saved for her mother to travel. Now her mother's trip was ruined. "But when you turn 70, I'll send you on a trip to Southeast Asia." Only now did her mother realize how much her daughter loved her. She told Dahi that she could live her life as she pleased, and if she wanted to invest in cryptocurrency, she should go ahead and do it. After this long conversation, the two had completely resolved the misunderstandings in their hearts. After her mood stabilized, Dahi realized that she had treated Adu unfairly. She went to Adu's residence asking if she was too late. Seeing Adu's icy expression, she said that she would come back another day. "You only need to coax me one more time, and I'll stop being angry right away. Can't you do it one more time?" Hearing this, Dahi smiled and turned back. Adu looked at her smile, unable to stay angry any longer. The two finally made up. What followed were scenes not suitable for children.